2016 had a lot of bad movies, but it had some pretty good ones too. Hi, welcome to the Silver Spleen's 2016 year-end roundup. Here's a few movies from this year that I would definitely recommend watching, legally. They're in no particular order since I think they're all worth a look. Monkey King 2 was a Chinese New Year film that I approached with more than a little trepidation, because I had seen the first movie. But this sequel really impressed me with the quality of the acting, the production design, and the digital effects. I also really appreciated the way that the story managed to integrate these gigantic CGI spectacles with serious discussions of existential dilemmas. I also really admired the performances of Gong Li as the White Bone Demon and Aaron Kwok as the titular character. House of Wolves was another Chinese New Year film centered around two knuckleheads in the New Territories, played by Ronald Cheng and Francis Ng. They have a rather unorthodox approach to life and love. House of Wolves wasn't an expensive film to make, and it's not a very serious film either. But I really enjoyed it because it was very local, very unpretentious, and most of all, very entertaining. It's already 3 for $100 Hong Kong dollars on DVD, so it's well worth the price of admission. The Mob Fathers is a Herman Yao movie that manages to be two things at once, and it does both of those things really, really well. On the surface, it's a gangster movie about the transition of power. It features all the great tropes that we know and love in Hong Kong gangster movies. It also adds a few new twists. But on another level, it's a very astute look at the state of politics in Hong Kong. There are a lot of coy and blatant references to things politicians said and did, and anyone familiar with the city's current political state will see it reflected in the story as well as the characters. They say that nothing in life is certain except death and taxes. Well, I'd like to add good Herman Yao movies to that list. I-Girl is a Wong Jing movie that's also the directorial debut of Kam Kawai. The first hour of the movie is a surprisingly engaging romantic comedy that shows three lonely men teaching their new robot girlfriends how to behave more like humans. They all already seem to know how to act like women, but that's probably because it's a Wong Jing movie. Speaking of which, the last half hour of I-Girl takes a hard left onto Populist Street, and suddenly there's evil robots and CGI and fights. I would have liked to have seen this movie play out as, just a romantic comedy, but I'm not Wong Jing's audience. Still, I enjoyed it, and I say it's worth a watch. Good Take is a collection of short films that were shot in Macau and feature a number of different approaches, tones, and ideas. There's horror, family dramas, there's even a treatise on death and aging. I enjoyed the first 4 segments immensely for a lot of reasons. The stories and the acting and the filmmaking were always really interesting and sometimes actually quite compelling. If nothing else, it was nice to see Sherry Ng on a big screen again. It was also nice to see people like Alex Fong the Elder and Paco Chow playing roles that were very different from what we usually see them doing. I really didn't care for the last segment of the film, but that's got a lot more to do with Charlene Choi and Wong Ching-po than anything else. Happiness is a movie that probably belongs in my best of 2016, but it ended up getting edged out by a very narrow margin. I'm probably gonna regret not leaving it there. Then again, this recommended movies video would end with me talking about Charlene Choi and Wong Ching-po, and I'm not going to do that. Happiness is the story of a young man who meets a woman who needs someone to take care of her. It's a movie about a deadly serious subject that nevertheless manages to stay away from the maudlin, depressing manipulation that's so common in movies that talk about this subject. Kara Hui turns in a really great performance in the lead role, and the rest of the cast is really good as well. I recommend this movie because it's very different, it's very good, and it's very memorable for all the right reasons. So there you have it. Those are my recommended movies of 2016. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more year-end review videos.